Hey, it's Chappie's Crypto here again, and we are live. I've just finished my trading for the evening, and I thought I'd do a bit of a review because it's actually 5 minutes to midnight in Australia. And as I said, Chappie's Crypto here, Australian based. I have been using a demo account for the last week and a half or so in Tradeovate and trading the futures markets. So I thought I'd just share trades I took in this last session. It's still early morning session in New York. However, I'm done because something played out really nicely tonight. So I just want to show you, or this morning, what I've got here is the trading view chart. I actually, for people that have watched some of my other videos, I use Tradeovate as my trading broker. I also use TradingView, and then Tradeovate is my broker. I played with this over the weekend, and I turned on the ability to place trades through my TradingView chart back into Tradeovate. So for people that don't know how to do that, you need to pay and you need to have the feature turned on within Tradeovate to do that. But to connect it through TradingView into this trading panel here, and you come down to here and you actually just go through this option here and connect it through there. I've got a video in my video series that'll show you that in detail, so I'm not going to go into it now. However, I just want to show you the setup. So before I started doing anything, I actually looked at the daily chart. Please understand, this is just my understanding to this point of the things that I've been learning through the ICT membership. Mentorship that's on his YouTube channel. So if you're not sure what that is, just look up ICT. He's got a whole mentorship series for this current year. It's some great content. And so what I'm doing is trying to apply that knowledge. And so when I was looking at this chart, what we've seen here is we've seen a nice dumping off the bottom here and moving this way. For me, we've got in my opinion, a trading range here. So that's the high and a low. So that's, for me, is the range that we're working within. And if you draw a Fibonacci, well, I'm not going to draw at the moment because I've got some other drawings on there, but the halfway point is around here-ish. So right now we're in a premium market. So for me, I actually felt like, and if you zoom in a little bit further, you'll actually see this. What I'm trying to do is just work out what my daily bias for today was going to be before I started placing some orders, or I started to think about what setups might be on. So when I looked at this, I've actually got a indicator turned on my chart, which I'll just show it so you can see what it is. Indicator is called this fractal break imbalance fair value gap. I'm a fairly, I would say, inexperienced trader in the fact that I'm not consistently profitable as yet. So I still like to have a little bit of noise on my charts. I know some people like to have their charts naked with they don't like a lot of indicators, but for me, I like to have that. That's one indicator that I found that someone suggested on one of the things that I watch. I can't remember who told me about that. Anyway, the cool thing about it is that it shows you these imbalances without you having to mark them out yourself. If you're not sure what an imbalance is, check out ICT's mentorship, goes through it in a lot of detail. And the reality is, what I'm learning with trading is that you've got to put the time in. If you don't put the time in, you ain't going anywhere. So sorry to be crass, but that's pretty much as simple as I can explain it. So anyway, when I'm looking at this daily thing, because I felt like with prices done this, we're in a premium at the moment, so the price is up here. So we've got a eventual target to maybe come up here and take this out, but we've already hit a bit of and this imbalance back here on the daily chart has already been taken out by this previous day or two. So I just had a feeling that price is probably going to draw down into this area and possibly down into this area. So there are two targets for me in the short term. So in the next day or two, might be surprised if you see the price move this direction. So for me, that's all I did initially, is to work out what my bias was. So my bias is short, and then what I did is I went down to the 15-minute chart. Now it's not fair because I'm obviously in a live chart at the moment, and so you can already see what the price action does. However, for me, what I noticed when I was watching the charts, I actually started watching the charts, it's probably a good hour before 8:30, so it was around this 7:15 New York time I started to keep an eye on the charts, because it just happened to be the time that I was sitting on my computer. And if you can see here, you'll see these relative equal highs, and what's even more interesting than that is that they actually match up really nicely to this imbalance. So I'm watching this chart an hour before I normally take any trades, and I noticed this happen. Prices come up here, it's cleared out that imbalance, as well as the fact that I'm thinking we're going short today. And if you've watched I'm in the process of rewatching all the ICT mentorship series videos, and episode 10 I've just finished watching. He talks a lot about the power of three. So if I'm going short, I'm expecting price to do this. Expecting price to, that's our open at midnight. So this is our open at midnight just here. Expecting price to do this. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm expecting to happen. So because I've already got that in the back of my mind, I found it really interesting that price did this, and then we had this little pump. You know, we're still an hour and a half before normally I'd be trading. However, it's taken up this imbalance. I've got a relative equal high, and I'm saying something's going on here. I'm really interested in this, and I might actually consider taking a trade a bit earlier. So go down to the 1 minute chart. Let's see what actually happened. I'm going to turn on my drawings just so you can see all the drawings that I've got, and you can also, I've marked out what my orders that I took, but I just want to show in a bit of detail the rationale that I had for these orders. So for me, as I said before, I've actually drawn on my chart. When I was watching, that was okay. Then we're gonna high here, and if you go back to the 15-minute just for 1 second, before the market opened here, we had, when I started to look at, that was a high I was paying attention to, and I was waiting for price to break. So if price broke, I was going to be interested in doing something, or taking a trade possibly, or just looking for a setup at least. I'll just reset that chart again. So if you can see what happened here, it's almost a textbook ICT trade in my opinion. Once again, I'm still learning these concepts, but I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable with it every day. So we got effectively very close to be relative equals high. We got a break above this area that I'm thinking. So I'm going, you know what? We've already got this whole concept of power three. The price has done this. Have we hit the peak and we're starting to head back down? So I'm pretty interested to look for now. What I'm looking for is a market structure break. So I'm watching the chart, and lo and behold, what do we see just here? For me, that's the market structure. We're looking for a break. We've already broken here, which is those previous highs, and so I'm expecting price to come down. We're going to market structure break. Nice push down here, and what we have now is we've got a fair value gap that's formed. This is on the 1 minute, remember, and I was scanning the 5s and the 3s, and I moved my way down to the 1 minute. We've also got the fair value gap up here and one up here. So I was not real sure what one's going to be taken. So what I did, I usually, when I place my entries on my demo account, I'm usually using 5 or 6 contracts of the micro E-mini. So I'm trading the micro E-mini, remembering that I use the demo account. However, so I saw this. What I did is I said, all right, if we get up to here, I'm going to place 4 trades. I'm going to put another order for 2 there, and I'm going to put another order for 2 there, and I'm going to leave my stop up the top here, just so that if I lose out there, well, basically it comes out, if I've just misread this and it actually comes here or there, I'm going to get even better entry. And if I lose a whole lot, you know what, it's a good setup. It's just, I may have just gone a little bit early, and I'll just wait and see what happens a bit later. However, check out what happened. Unbelievable. The price went pretty much almost to the tick to the entry I'd set there at 4. It gave you another chance to get into it here. And then the price started to move the direction I wanted. Now, what was my take profit? So I actually set, because once again, I just watched episode 10 again of the ICT. So if we've done this and we've done this, the price hasn't returned back to the open price at midnight yet. So we're still up in this area. So we've still got a long way to go. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to take a partial all, or I'm going to place an order to take 2 contracts out if we come down to this point. So that was my take profit for 2. So I still had 2 in, and I'm saying, you know what, let's draw a Fibonacci here, and just to see, using the Fibonacci rule, and I did the same thing before I hit that partial as well. If I draw a Fibonacci from the top of the range to the bottom of the range, and where's the 50 or the halfway mark? It's just there. Big imbalance. Funny about that. So if we draw it here, so that's a very conservative target. Hit it no problem whatsoever. I was in the trade for probably half an hour or so at that point. That's awesome. So I said, you know what, I wonder, because once again, this is the opening, this is where the opening was at midnight. So that was the opening level. So if we're using this power of 3, if price has done this, I'm expecting it to come down like this before it retraces market close to do that. So if that's the case, there's a fair chance price is going to come down here and break this level and pick up all the stops down here. So why not? Let's throw the last 2 contracts I've still got open in this trade down at this low point, which is the whole range that we've been tracking here. And you know, price moved around a bit. What I did move my stop. I had it up here. I moved it down to here after I got this first take profit hit, and you know, I moved my stop loss a little bit a couple times. I didn't actually end up bringing it down here because I just wanted to let this play out, because I'd already booked a nice little profit, $118 off that first 2 contracts, which was awesome. Just to show you how messy my entry looked. This is the setup. I took a screenshot when I had the order in. So that was the first order. We've got 2 other limit sells here. So if the price moved back, I was going to add to my position. Got all my stops up the top here, and there's my buy limit I had placed. So that was a bit of a messy setup. However, that's the setup I had. And not too long ago, price came down, and it actually went down and broke into this imbalance that I identified earlier on, and it took me out. So look at that, cracking trade. That was probably one of the best trades I've done so far in my demo account, but I'm really stoked with that. So if you just want to see in Tradeovate, this is the summary of that little session. A maximum of 3 trades, even though it was one trade with 4 contracts. It executed that first when it took the first take profit. I'm not sure why it broke into 2 separate, or obviously single contracts got bought up or taken the other side in the market. And then the very last trade down the bottom here, which is the last 2 positions, were closed out. And that's a nice booked profit of 366. And the cool thing about Tradeovate, when you've got a demo account, it actually then shows you your profit and loss with all the commissions taken out. So, you know, the gross profit for that session, $484. Net profit $478. So that was super awesome session. Very happy with that one. Let's check my account balance up here. $12,496. Good, bad, or ugly. My plan is to share how I'm going in this little demo challenge I got for myself. Remember, my goal is to try and get up to that. I'll just show you my goals again. Goal is to try and get my double my demo account, or at the same time I'm trying to save up $10,000 in real cold hard cash so I can get back into the market with real money. And as I'm doing that, I'm planning to rewatch all of the ICT mentorship series. I've watched most of them on the way through the first time, and I'm going to go back over and rewatch them all. I'm up to episode 10 second time through, and there you go. That was my session for tonight. It's as I said, it was a pretty successful evening. A whopping $400 odd profit. So super stoked. I can't believe I'm actually up almost $2.5 grand, just over a week and a half. So once again, this is trading with a demo account with a $10,000 starting balance, using the ICT mentorship series training to understand how to approach these futures markets. So that's Chappie's Crypto, my trading journal, episode 4. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, just throw them down in the comments below. I'm happy to respond to those in the next stream. Until next time, bye for now.